James and Henry are great friends on Sodor. James enjoys carrying passengers, and Henry enjoys pulling freight. But whatever the weather, James and Henry always get their jobs done. One day, Sir Topham Hatt arrived. He spoke to the engines. "Today is a very special day on Sodor," said Sir Topham Hatt. "The railway inspector is coming to visit Sodor. I want you to make sure the railway's running smoothly." James and Henry were very excited. "Please, sir," said James, "may I take the railway inspector on a tour of the island today?" "James," said Sir Topham Hatt, "today you have to work at the docks. And Henry, I want you to take the goods trains right on time." "Yes, sir," said Henry. "Right away, sir." "But, sir," said James, "why do I have to do the real work?" "Enough complaining, James," said Sir Topham Hatt. "I want you two to make sure you are very busy." "Deal," said James and Henry together. "Are you ready to get busy, James and Henry?" asked Thomas. "Definitely, Thomas," said Henry. "I would love to be a really useful engine." So, the two engines set off to work. James's first job was to collect some freight cars from the docks. "Hurry up, Cranky," said James. "I haven't got all day, you know." "I don't take orders from mites like you," grumbled Cranky. "Wait a minute," said James. "Toby's coming." As a matter of fact, Toby arrived. "Hello, James," said Toby. "Looks like Henry wants to get his job done. Would you like to see how strong he is?" "No, thank you, Toby," said James. "There's a birthday party happening. I must get these presents to the party on time. Then I have to collect the party guests." And James puffed proudly away. "Good luck, James," said Toby. Later that day, Henry went to collect his freight cars when the yard manager appeared. "These freight cars are very heavy, Henry," said the yard manager. "Are you sure you're going to pull this load?" "Yes, I am," said Henry. "I'm strong enough to pull these cars." His boiler strained, his wheels started to turn, and Henry pulled the cars away. He was glad that he was proving himself to be the strongest engine on Sodor. After Henry went to do his work, James arrived cheerfully at the station to collect his coaches. "I'll give the engine some orders," said James. First, Percy pulled up. "Percy," said James, "Sir Topham Hatt has a very special job for you." "He does?" said Percy. "How exciting!" Then, after Percy left, Mavis arrived. "Hi, Mavis," said James. "Sir Topham Hatt wants you to work at the docks." "Really?" said Mavis. "Thank you, James." Finally, Arthur pulled into the station. "Arthur," said James, "Sir Topham Hatt has a very important job for you. He wants you to collect the railway inspector." "What a wonderful job, James," said Arthur. "Thank you." And soon Arthur puffed away. James was having a wonderful day. "Well," said James, "looks like everyone has their important jobs to do. I must stay here and wait for my passengers." But it wasn't a good day for Henry. He strained up the hill. You can do it, Henry, said his driver. One more effort until you reach the top. I'm doing the best I can, Henry groaned. It wasn't easy hauling heavy things up the hill, but Henry knew he had to try. When James returned from the station, he was glad that he did 2 jobs in one day. The railway inspector should be here soon, James said excitedly. He waited and waited, but the railway inspector didn't come. Soon, James heard a whistle. It was Arthur. He was going so fast that he didn't see James in the way. But James didn't hear Arthur. He was still waiting. Get out of the way, James! Cried Arthur. His driver slammed on the brake, but Arthur bumped into James. James jumped. Well, that was unexpected, said James. Sorry, James, said Arthur. I didn't know you were here. I'm with the railway inspector now. And soon he was. I see none of you engines are busy, said the railway inspector. You are causing a lot of trouble. Even Sir Topham Hatt was on board Arthur's coach. James, said Sir Topham Hatt, you did 2 jobs in one day, but Arthur, you need to look where you're going next time. Sorry, sir, said Arthur sadly. And soon, Henry stopped at the station. He had broken his safety valve. And as for you, Henry, said Sir Topham Hatt, you are not supposed to take those cars. Yes, sir. Sorry, sir, Henry said sadly. And James, said Sir Topham Hatt, you need to take Henry to the works now. He has broken his safety valve. Yes, sir, said James. Fancy a thoroughbred engine broke his safety valve. Thoroughbred, Henry whistled. James! I know, said James. Let's go to the works, Henry. You'll have a new safety valve in no time. When Henry was repaired with a new safety valve, he spoke to James. I'm sorry that I teased you, James, said Henry. You know what? We're both strongest engines. But you did learn your lesson, Henry, said James, and I'm proud of you. What do you say? Let's pull the express. Great idea, James, said Henry. I'll meet you at the station. And so, the 2 friends set off to collect the express coaches.